This is the Nexus Ledger Risk Calculator V2. Now, we have to watch this video to actually know the power it holds. So first of all, the V1 had some basic things like Forex lot size calculation and crypto position sizing, right? So you could, let me just zoom in. So you can see that you could just get the position size that you should be having according to the risk per trade percentage. But now it also does Monte Carlo simulations and also has another thing called risk brain, which is really amazing, and you have to watch this video to completely understand it. So let me just go through all the features that it has. And a sleek open source Forex lot size plus crypto position sizing plus Monte Carlo simulation equity simulator built with Flask by Nexus Ledger. And this is completely open source and free to use. So features is you have a Forex mode, you have a crypto mode, you have a risk brain panel. Now these are the two new things that we have mainly added. So the risk brain panel actually shows you the real edge metrics. So it shows you the break-even win rate, the expectancy per trade, which is you can also see it in the dollar amount or in the risk reward amount as well. So it turns your RR plus win rate into actionable trading edge insights. And then we have the new feature that we did, which was equity curve simulator, which is using Monte Carlo simulations. So it's fully configurable. You can actually use the start equity, win probability, everything into it. And then we also have done some minor alterations to the UX. And to run it locally, you can just clone the repo. So let me just go ahead and just do it quickly. So you just copy it and go to your favorite terminal. So I'm using Mac, but if you're using Windows, you can also do that very easily. So let's just go to desktop. Let me just zoom in, and then we just do git clone, and we clone this git repository into our desktop. So now you can see that you have a folder, and in that folder there's another folder, and you have these files, right? So sorry for that. So you can just do is you can just go Python. Let me just go here, and you can see that you have to create a virtual environment if you want to create, and then to activate it you can do this, and then you can actually do pip install Flask if you don't have it. And then already most of the computers actually have Flask and Python, so you don't need to do that. So you can just do python app.py. First, let me just go into that folder. So cd Nexus Ledger Risk Calculator, and then you just do python app.py, and it's gonna run it locally on your machine. And then you can just go to this URL to go into the platform. And also, so you can see that we have opened it up, and yeah, so basically you have two modes. One is the crypto and one is the Forex. So if you trade Forex, you can click on this, and if you trade crypto, you click on this, right? And so let's just go, for example, with crypto for the start. But again, it's very easy and simple to use. And if you don't understand anything, you have like tips here. Also, you have EG, so you can know what to input, what type of thing to input here. So let's just go into crypto, and let's say that my account size is $1,000 and my risk per trade is 1%, just for the example case. And let's say the entry price for whatever asset or pair that I'm trading is 50,000. Let's just say that, and then the stop price is 49,000, and the take profit is, let's say, 52,000, right? So you can see that run a calculation to see position sizing, risk brain metrics, and optional Monte Carlo equity stats built by Nexus Ledger. So we just click calculate, and then you can see that boom, it tells you the account size, which is $1,000, which is correct. The risk per trade you should be taking according to the percentage that you have given it, which is, again, it is correct. For $1,000 account, the risk per trade should be $10 if the risk per trade is 1%. And then the quantity should be 0.01, which is also correct. And then the position value in dollar amount should be $500. It also tells you the formula that it uses. And then in the risk brain, you can see that the RR that you have actually is 2, because the entry price and the stop price and the take profit, it calculates the risk reward with that. And then the break-even rate for this RR is 33%, right? So you need to have a win rate of 33% with an RR of 2 to actually be in the break-even, right? And then we can also add a win rate percentage in the form, which is here, to estimate the expectancy in R and dollar amounts. So let's just say that we put here 40%. We have 40% win rate, right? So we click calculate, and then it tells you that, with a 40% win rate, you have an expectancy value of 0.2 R per trade. So you're kind of making like 0.2 R per trade over like a large number of trades. And then the expectancy in in the dollar amount with all these settings, it is $2 per trade. So at 40% win rate, positive expectancy means your edge compounds over many trades. And then we have this equity curve Monte Carlo simulation, right? So it tells you like over the period of like 100 or 50 or 10 or 1,000 or 10,000 trades, with this win rate, with this RR, with this start equity capital that you have, with the risk per trade percent and the risk reward ratio that you have, how much money on average can you make, and how much will be the worst amount, and what drawdown and the worst case scenario you'll have. So let me just test it for you. So let's just say that we have a win rate of like 40% and our starting equity is like, let's say 10,000. And then let's just say that my RR usually is like 1.8, let's just say, right? So risk per trade is, let's say 0.5, and then number of trades to simulate is, let's say 1,000, and number of lines, to have how many simulations. So like my recommendation would be just to use 20, and then ruin threshold drawdown. So I'll explain what this means. Okay, so let's just say that 10, right? So calculate, and then you can see that this the ruin risk, right? So the ruin threshold drawdown percent. So it tells you that for a drawdown to have more than 10%, the probability of having that drawdown with this risk per trade setting and this risk reward and this win probability is about 10% probability. So there's a 10% probability that over the long run, you are going to have a drawdown of more than 10% of your capital. So this is a really good thing to have and to know, right? So now let's just go from the top. So equity curve Monte Carlo, and then it tells you that over the period of 1,000 trades, and we've done like more than 20 lines of simulations, and with a starting capital of $10,000 and a risk of 0.5% per trade, and a win rate of 40%, and then a risk reward of like 1.8. The median outcome is of your capital is $17,672, right? So this is a good strategy that you're having with all this win rate and with this risk reward. And then the worst outcome, the worst simulation that could happen was actually your capital getting from $10,000 to $13,930, right? So it's still good in the worst case scenario. And in the best case scenario, it was actually $22,415, right? So this is like the best case scenario. And then the median outcome was 17K. So median drawdown that could happen is 11%, right? But the worst drawdown that could happen is 20%. This is through the simulations it went through. So this is how your edge behaves across many random sequences of wins and losses, so you can use it to judge if your risk is survivable, right? So this is the whole thing and why we built it. Of course, you can also use the Forex slots, but once you know how to use it, you can easily use the Forex and also the crypto one. So why did we build it? We built it because that's what we do at Nexus Ledger. We make proprietary custom-built solutions for traders and fintech, and this is just one thing that we want to do for the community for free, and that's why it's open source. You can also get the code from here, and this is a pretty good thing to have locally that you can run. Before we had version 1, but this is the V2, as you can see here, and we are constantly updating this risk calculator and trying to make it more better. But this is it for this video. I hope you like it, and if you do, please comment down new things that we should be updating this into.